I like to hang around with people who are what they are, and then I can decide whether I want to hang with them or not. I prefer honest people. Hi, this is Sanjay Kapoor, and I would request you to subscribe to Neeta Bhasin's channel.
Netflix show, Bollywood Wives. Out of all these actors who Bollywood Wives were there, and they had such a great rapport with each other, very close friendship. Your wife, just like others, were very candid, but she was more outspoken. She didn't care about the camera. She didn't care about anything. And we saw her as she is, and she was criticized also. Tell me about that, your response and reaction to that.
See, it all depends on a person. See, I think so Bollywood Wife was such a huge success because all the four girls, or women, whatever you want to call them, they were being honest in front of the camera, and everybody's personality actually came out. And Maheep's personality is that what she came across in the show, she is like that. So what is the good thing about the show is if they were all the same, it would look monotonous. So everybody in life also has a different personality. Somebody is a little more, they come, very openly about things. Some people are reserved. So in the show also, same thing happened. So that was the good thing, and I'm glad Maheep was being herself. Even though the camera was there, she was not trying to not be herself, and that's the reason she was so real and honest. And in a reality show, if you're not honest, it'll never work. So I think so that's what worked for her, and that's the reason people probably, whenever a person is very honest and everything, that person comes across, really, really well, and people enjoy her. Maheep was abusing also. Maheep was talking to everybody, whether she was talking to me or Karan or whatever. The way she talks to all of them in real life, she was talking in front of the camera also. So I think so that kind of personality, people really, really connected with her. People thought, that's very cool of her, of just being herself. So that's what the reaction she got, and that's the reaction we got from all over where she got in the comments and everything, where people liked her a lot. And that's one of the reasons for that. Like I said, the show is such a huge success.
But Sanjay, when Karan approached her for this show, she spoke with you, and you know her personality. She's very open about everything. She's very blunt, she's very outspoken. And in India, mostly, community criticize those kind of people. Abroad, we don't care. And a lot of big society in India also, they accept it. But did you have some reservations because she grew up in London and she grew up in abroad? So did you have some kind of a restrictions or reservations that she should do it or she should not?
The only thing she was insecure was facing the camera. She didn't want to do it. And I encouraged her. I said, see, if Netflix is doing it, Karan is producing it and everything, it will have a certain kind of respectability and dignity about it. So, and what you're saying is, see, when you're doing this kind of a thing, if you overthink, you will never be able to do a good job. And plus, the show is catering to people like her and people who have this kind of a thinking. It was not being catered to somebody who are hypocrites, who is there in them, but they don't like to admit few things and everything. We were catering to the kind of, circle we are roaming around, and we were catering to very city audience. And today India is very, very, open to this kind of a thing. And that's the only reason why this show is a success. And so I was never worried. It was never going to be catered to, there's always that 5%, whatever show you do, you will always have the 5-7% of people who have got an opinion, and fair enough, they have an opinion, fair enough. Yeah. So you're in front of the TV, change it. Yeah, don't watch it. It's as simple as that.
Something, when I didn't watch this show when it was came on Netflix. My friend who lives in California, she's from Pakistan. She called me and she said that you must watch this show. So all her friends, Pakistanis, everybody watched the show and they loved it. And she said that to me. She said, you know Sanjay Kapoor, his wife is in this, and she is the bold woman, man. So, like, people loved her a lot abroad,
Yes, of course.
for what
Yeah,
she. So,
yeah. What she is, that's what I'm saying. Like she was just being honest and everything. She's a lovely girl, and she has this thing. She call a spade a spade. And if you think that is blunt, then be it. She will not. If it's night, she'll say it's night to please you. She's not going to say it's late evening.
how do you handle that sometimes,
So there's
personally?
nothing. You like honest people. I like to be with honest people. I like to be around with people who I like. There's no point being around with somebody who is not the person in real, actually in front of you, and in front of you, that person is of another personality, and behind you, he or she is of another personality. I don't want to be, whether it's my wife, whether it's my friends. I like to hang around with people who are what they are. And then I can decide whether I want to hang with them or not hang with them. I prefer honest people.
That's the best thing. How did you meet her? How did you meet Maheep, your wife?
Well, way back in 1993, we produced a film called Roop Ki Rani Choru Raja. My brother produced, and Anil was acting in it, and we were there in Delhi for the premiere of that film. And there was this party at Moria Sheraton in Delhi, and that's where I met her. She happened to be there. One of the co-stars were there, and we just happened to meet. She came to the party with a few friends, and I met her there. And I remember that at that time there was a nightclub over there called Gungrus, and then we went. Few of us went down. She was also happened to be there, and and then that is history.
And we had a chance to meet your daughter Shania in that show.
She's becoming an actor, so I'm. What more can I say? She's chasing a dream. She's doing what she wants to do, and and we are encouraging her. We are encouraging her dream, and we are supporting her dream. And she's working very, very hard towards it. And she's been at it since 7, 8 years. She's been training for it and everything. She's worked very, very, very hard for it.
Wish her all the very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Really.
She needs all the wishes and blessings of everybody, especially elders.
Sanjay, tell us about your next upcoming projects.
Well, I just completed a show. I was doing the show last year, and then the pandemic started, and finally it opened up in India. So I shot for this show called the tentative title "Finding Anamika," which is for Netflix. And there is I'm working with Madhuri Dixit after a long time. Nearly the last time I worked with her was in Mohabbat. I did Raja in '95 and Mohabbat released in '97. So that is one show that I've just finished shooting for. It will come sometime this year.
So you're working with Madhuri after 25 years. That was the beginning of your career. And now you're working with her. So how is your working relationship now and work experience over the 25, 26 years?
She, even when I was absolutely raw, absolutely new, and she was such a big star, she was so gracious. She was so, made me so comfortable that I never felt that I was working with a superstar. So when I worked with her that time, and when I'm working with her now, the respect has not changed. I still have this thing that she is Madhuri Dixit. I'll never change in front of my eyes, and I'll never forget when I was so raw. She was so gracious. She never made me feel awkward or that she's the star and you're the newcomer. So I'll never forget that. So nothing has changed. She was a great person to shoot with that time, and she's a fantastic person to shoot with now. So there is no such change. The only difference now is that now even I have 25 years of experience. So that's the only change. But where our relation is concerned, it was very comfortable then. It's very comfortable now.
Sanjay, thank you so much for being on this show, Neeta Bhasin.
Pleasure. I enjoyed speaking to you.